Hello students, I am here to discuss about the chapter 3 of your subject ED. In this chapter, we will discuss about the interdependence in the environment, how things depend on each other. Interdependence means the things depend on each other. So here you see, here plant, here animal. How animal depend on plant and plant also depend on animal. So we will discuss in this chapter about the dependency on plant and animal to each other. So in this regard, we will discuss how plants depend on animal for different activities of their own, like for carbon dioxide, like for pollination, like for nutrients, like for dispersal of fruits and seeds. As well as animal also depend on plants for oxygen requirement, for food requirement, for their shelter or living place. So see, this is the way by which both of them interdependent to each other. Now come, let us discuss about the things going on in the environments for plants and animal. So here you see the first, plants depend on animal for carbon dioxide. You know, carbon dioxide is present in the environment or atmosphere, that is very less amount, 0.03%. So it is very less amount, which is not very high amount, means less amount, but fulfill the requirement of plants for their photosynthesis. So activity of photosynthesis takes place by the help of this carbon dioxide. But really, if the amount of carbon dioxide decreases, what happens? They are unable to do photosynthesis. So for this carbon dioxide, cycling of carbon dioxide, they depend on animal for the requirement of carbon dioxide. Animal provide this carbon dioxide by respiration or breathing. They take oxygen and remove carbon dioxide every time during the respiration. So this is the carbon dioxide which required for the plants for their photosynthesis and fulfilled by animal after their respiration. So we can say plants depend on animal for carbon dioxide and this carbon dioxide supported by animal after their respiration. So we can say photosynthesis and respiration both are in cyclic way. In photosynthesis they provide oxygen, in respiration they provide carbon dioxide, and both carbon dioxide and oxygen is required again and again by the help of plants and animal. So now second thing, that is pollination. Pollination means transfer of pollen grain from anther, this is the anther, to stigma, this is the stigma. So this activity of transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma is called pollination. Pollination is supported by the help of animal because plants can do pollination by the help of air, by the help of different agents, water. But animal also support them, and maximum of pollination takes place by the help of animal. That's why pollination is the vital process in which the activity of transferring pollen grain from anther to stigma takes place. So this is the way stigma and anther attraction means pollination done by the help of animal. How it takes place? So many flowers are there. On flower, the insects move flower to flower for their nectar, for their food. That's why during the movement from one flower to another, they can also transfer the pollen grain, because when they stay one flower, their pollen grains stick with the body, and again they transfer to another flower, they carry the pollen grain to the next flower and pollination takes place. So this is the way some birds also help to do pollination. So this is the pollination, which is very vital activity of plant by which they make their fruit and seed. Show this vital process supported by animal. So we can say plant depend on animal for pollination. So pollination is the process supported by animal, and plants take support from animal for this process. Now the third one, that is nutrients. Nutrients is the requirement, means nutrient is the substance which is required for their growth, plant's growth. So plants grow in soil, and if the soil having rich nutrients, then they grow healthier. So plants give more product. So for supporting nutrients. So many animals, wild animals as well as cattle, provide them excreta. Their excreta also help to fulfill the requirement of the soil, or help to enrich the requirement nutrients in the soil. Sometimes human beings also provide manure, fertilizers to uplift the fertility of the soil. So this nutrient requirement of the plants fulfilled by the animal, either the plant, either the wild animal, pet animal, or the human beings, they support to do the activity to help the enrichment of nutrients of the soil. So this is the way we can say that nutrients provided by animal to the plants, and we also share that plants depend on animal for their nutrients. Next thing, that is dispersal of fruits and seeds. Dispersal means movement of the seed or fruit from one place to another. This is why. This is for the healthier growth of the plant. So if suppose one big tree having so many fruit and they fall under that tree, and all the seeds germinate under the tree, so they can fight or compete for the nutrients, for the sunlight, for the different type of supportive substances. So they can compete and they can't survive healthier. So if they survive, they are not healthier. So it is necessary to disperse the fruit, disperse the seed from one place to another for their healthier growth. So this is supported by the animal. Some animals, wild animals, some pet animals, when they graze inside the forest or other places, they can carry the seeds, stick with their body. Sometimes we also take fruit which is grown in different places and we purchase them and eat them. After eating, we throw the seeds and these seeds again germinate. So this is the dispersal of seed or fruit from one place to another and help to grow the healthier plants. Next thing, that is now animal depend on plants for different activities, for different purposes. So see, animals also helped by plants in different ways. So see, oxygen, our prime source of respiration, is required for respiration. So when we require oxygen, this is fulfilled by plant. Plant do photosynthesis and the byproduct is oxygen. So this oxygen is taken by the animal for the respiration, and this is the way we can say the activity of breathing takes place. So oxygen provided by plant and used by animal in respiration. So we can say animal depend on plants for oxygen requirement. So this is the requirement of oxygen fulfilled by plants. So animal depend on plant for oxygen. Clear? Now the food is also required by animal. All animals require food. All non-green plants require food. So this is the prime requirement of us, and by the help of food we are able to take energy. So energy giving, bodybuilding, protective foods are supported by the plants to us, because plants are autotrophs. They make their food and support us by giving this to us. So food from animal, from plants, whenever we got the food, it is ultimate source of sunlight, and again direct or indirect way the plants provide us these foods. If you take milk, if you take meat, if you take fish, if you take egg, so you consider that, think that from where egg come, and egg taken by the hen, and hen taken the food of plant products. Milk taken by the cow, and cow eat the shrubs, herbs, or the plant products. So this is the way we can say the food directly or indirectly given by plant to us for our requirement of energy, requirement of bodybuilding or healing of wound, requirement of protection from the diseases. So this is the food which is supported by plants or autotrophs. We can say that animal depend on plants for food. Clear? Now next thing, that is the shelter. Shelter means living place, habitat, from which any living organism stay, or means they stay for a longer time for their survival. So say shelter given by the plant. How? So animal also need shelter from the plants. You think small insects living in the bark of tree, small caterpillars, other one living on the leaf of the tree, birds living on the nest, in the nest on the tree, squirrels, monkey, or other animals living on the tree. So many animals are there, either wild, either the birds. So they are living on the tree. So tree provide the shelter, living place for them. So this is the way shelter, the requirement for their survival, and the shelter, the place where they spend maximum time, is provided by the plants. So we can say animal depend on plants for their shelter, for their living place. So this is the way animal depend on plants and plants also depend on animal. So this is the vice versa, this is the activity of interdependency. Now we discuss about the relation of living organism for food. It is called food chain. What is called? It is called food chain. Food chain means the cyclic pathway of the transfer of nutrients from producer to consumer. Producer means green plants, consumer means the consumer 1, 2, 3, herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, like that. So producer to consumer, and again back to producer. The consumer consume, decomposer decompose. After that they again come back to consumer, producer. So producer is called the food chain. So how food chain made, you see the process of taking food and again taken by others. It means a series of food chain made by them. So see here, this is the food chain. Start from grass. Grass is eaten by grasshopper, an insect. Grasshopper is eaten by frog. Frog is eaten by snake, and snake is eaten by hawk. So you see the activity of taking food. So takes place from the grass. These are the producer, and the grasshopper, this is the consumer 1. Consumer 1. The frog is the consumer 2. Snake is the consumer 3, and the hawk, the top consumer. Top consumer. So this is what? This is the activity of food chain. This is the food chain takes place in our neighborhood area. Food chain. Understood? Now it is not permanent system. It is temporary. If we kill all the frogs of a place, snake will not eat the grasshopper directly. Then after it will imbalance. If we kill all the snake, the frog will not taken by the hawk directly. This is also imbalance. So this is the way, if anything disturbed, the whole system, whole food chain become disturbed. So this is what? This is the one-way flow and temporary. Now we think about the permanency of this. So this is the food chain, which is the network of food web. This is the network of food chains. So many food chains are combined together, they form the food web. See here, this is grass and eaten by deer. This is grass, again eaten by sheep. This is grass, eaten by rabbit. This is grass, eaten by cow. So many consumers are there. So one producer having so many consumer. Finally, this deer, this sheep, this rabbit, this cow eaten by lion. So what happens in this? You can say this is the, if deer is, all deers are killed, then grass will eaten by sheep, rabbit or cow. So there is no hampering of the food web. So if lion is not there, then there is tiger. There are other big carnivores. So see, the permanency of this food chain, food web is continued. So this is the food web. Food web is a network of food chain. So one food chain, second food chain, third food chain, fourth food chain. So this is the network of food chain. Together they form the food web, and it is permanent for the survival of the system, of the balance of the nature. So this is the activity takes place in our environment, and dependency on each other takes place. You see, in a food chain there is the transfer of energy. Energy transfer from grass to hawk. So see, from grass, from where they take the energy? They take energy from the sun. Sun is the ultimate source of energy for the grass. Grasses are green and they are able to make food by photosynthesis. So this is the way by which they trap the sunlight or photons of the sunlight and then make the food and transfer it to the grasshopper. Grasshopper transfer it to the frog, frog transfer it to the snake, snake transfer it to the hawk. So this is the way by which transferring of energy takes place. So it is energy, this is one way flow of energy. Why one way flow of energy? So it will not return to the grass again. So this is, or it will not return to the sun again. So this is the way we can say that transfer energy means the functional aspect of the food chain is the transfer of energy from producer to different consumer level. And this is only 10% of energy transferred from here to the there. Each and every tropic level, this is at the tropic level, transfer energy only 10%. 10% energy transfer from one topic level to another topic level. See, this is the tropic level. Tropic level 1, tropic level 2, tropic level 3, tropic level 4, tropic level 5. So this is the transfer of energy from one tropic level to another. So frog can transfer its 10% of energy. The snake can transfer its 10% of energy. So you see, only 10% is transfer from one tropic level to another. So this is the law of Lindemann, which provide us the concept how the food chain is longer, the energy transfer is very less. How the food chain is smaller, energy transfer is very high. So you see, grass, deer and lion, here transfer energy very much, because say grass producer, lion top consumer, and only the mediator is deer. So if grass having 100 or 1000 joule of energy, they transfer to deer, that is the 100 joule, and they transfer to the lion, that is the 10 joule. So this is the way we can say they transfer maximum energy. So how short the food chain, maximum is the transfer of energy takes place from one to another. So this is the way we understood the energy transferring inside the food chain of our environment. So environment is the natural system in which we can understood the living beings as well as non-living beings which are interact, or dependency of one living beings to another takes place. So this is the activity takes place by the help of our biotic components and dependency on each other. Thank you. In next class, we'll discuss the next chapter. Thank you.